Hey guys, this is Aaron over at Beach Mazda, located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I just wanted to go over today a little bit of information, a quick guide on this new Mazda Connect system here. And this Connect system is new as of the 2019 Mazda 3s, the 2020 Mazda 3s, and it is also in the 2020 Mazda CX-30. Other than that, those are the only vehicles that this system is currently in. I am sitting inside of a Mazda 3 premium hatchback, hence the red leather. This is one of the options available in the premium for the Mazda 3. But let me jump on into this. At the top side here, I have the information screen. If I go into there, I have some options there with the fuel efficiency monitor. Under there, you can kind of see like a trip computer, lets you know how your last few drives have been as far as your miles per gallon and things like that have gone with it. Underneath that, you do have the SiriusXM Travel Link. The SiriusXM Travel Link is available to you for 3 years, complimentary of SiriusXM. That is not available in all trim levels. However, it is available here in the premium. So underneath that, you have some options to see from your traffic in the area. So weather forecast, or weather radar, fuel prices in the area around you, sports scores, and you see some weather alerts and a few other things, again, courtesy of SiriusXM. Below that, your vehicle status monitor. This is a nice screen to come back to every now and again because it shows you when the next servicing is due. Right now, it says the next service is about 7,600 miles. Just below that, you can select your maintenance details. This is, again, another nice screen to come to because it shows you your tire pressure and your tires over there. On the right side, I do have all four sitting at 50 right now. And again, it tells me my next oil change is due in 7,600 miles. Just below the maintenance details and the maintenance settings, here you can just kind of adjust whether you'd rather keep track of the service date and stuff like that on your own, or if you'd rather it just be automatically cycling through there. You can also reset the oil change distance by yourself as well. So just underneath then, the vehicle status monitor is the owner's manual. Really nice to put the owner's manuals inside of the system so that it's always with you. If you ever need anything, it's very quick and easy to work yourself through. It is quite extensive though, so I will not be covering the owner's manual at the time. That's all under the information screen. Just below that, you do have the entertainment. This does take you over then to the radio and things like that. Currently it's on the 94.9 at the surf. So if I were to just scroll the main button to the right or the left, it jumps me over to my favorites. I do not currently have any favorites set, so there's nothing there. So go back. Nope, I hit back twice. Now, I can press down the main button there, and it will jump me over to my few options there with the radio as far as switching my source list. I can change between the FM, AM, SiriusXM, Pandora, Bluetooth and connection to my phone, USBs if I had any connected, and I can also turn the audio off there. Just underneath that, I again have the favorites list. I can hit that and it'll take me right back over to the favorites. Again, I don't have any listed here, so there won't be any of us showing up. Underneath that's the station list. This is kind of a quick list as far as available stations in the area that you are at. It's just a few that are available. Underneath that, your tuner controls. This is where you can jump back and forth between stations, the previous one and the next one. You can also scan from this top option there as well. Underneath that, your manual tuning. This is just what brings up a little dial, and as you twist your knob, it kind of adjusts what station you're going to there, so you can do it manual as well. Underneath that's your radio text. That just tells you what is currently playing on the radio. Oftentimes, if it's at a commercial or something like that, it won't pop up anything, so maybe at a commercial at the moment. FM settings are just below that you can adjust to turn on the radio, the HD radio. You can disable that if that was something that you were not interested in. You also have the live event mode that you can turn on and off, which is just broadcasting delays and things like that. Underneath that's your audio settings. This is just a quick way over then to adjust your bass, treble, your listening position, sitting in the driver, the rear, the passenger, all around, whichever you prefer there. You can also adjust your front and rear fader, your balance left and right, and then a couple options with the Bose sound system, which is, again, not available in all trim levels. However, it is here in this premium. Bose stereo mode just kind of gives you different listening style, just to better suit your preference there. You also have the Bose Centerpoint, which just creates a virtual surround sound experience, and then your audio pilot just adjusts your levels from your volumes as far as if you're compared to like road noise and things like that, it will adjust automatically your volume to counterbalance that. We go back, and that should be all under that there. So that's everything under the radio. Head on back here to the main screen. This is the communications up next. Now under here, it'll bring you over to your phone. So I'll have your favorites list. I currently don't have any favorites listed, so there's nothing going to show up there again. You can also see my call history, my last few phone calls. It'll also bring up my contacts here as well, my text messages, my recent text messages, and I can select those, and then it'll play them for me as well. Mazda roadside assistance can be found inside of here. If I select that, a little pop-up will come up and ask me if I want to call the roadside assistance. If I select call, it will automatically use my phone then to call the roadside assistance and help me out. Right below that, I have a dial pad. If I wanted to bring up just a manual dial pad to call a specific phone number, then I can just scroll through here and select an option, and it'll bring it up there. Underneath that is your communication settings. This is how you prioritize the device. If you wanted to just have a spouse's phone preferred connected to theirs first over yours, or something like that, you could do that here. Underneath that, you have your notification sections where you can adjust what you get notifications for. It'll also notify you whenever it's syncing something or whenever it's finished syncing. You can also adjust your phone calls as far as the ringer there. You can adjust the volume, text message notification volumes, and some things like that there. So a little bit more information on your text as far as it reading that. And that's all under the communications. Just underneath that in the main screen, you do have your navigation. Now, navigation is not standard in any of these vehicles that have this system. It is an optional add-on, which does work very well inside of these systems, but their takeaway for that, the reason for that is because they're moving towards the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto systems now, which is available in all but the base of this vehicle here. If you do go to the navigation, it will jump you over to your phone's navigation and bring that straight up on the screen there instead. If I had the phone plugged in for the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto. As of right now, it just brings up a compass, shows me latitude, longitude, and altitude, things like that. Last thing here on the screen is the settings. Now again, I am in a premium, so under the in-vehicle displays, I do have the options for the active driving display, which is the display that comes up right over top of the windshield, or the gauge cluster here does tell me my speed limit up there and things like that. So that's a nice little handy thing here in the premium. You can adjust the height and the brightness of that, the tilt of it. You can also turn it off and reset all the settings back to factory. Next step down, you do have the center display adjustments here. So you can turn the display off. You can make it a day or night mode. Right now it's set to automatic, so it'll adjust the brightness automatically for me, but I can also adjust it manually as well as with the contrast. You can also show the driving results here. Whenever you turn off the vehicle, it'll pop up just a screen to show you how your gas mileage was and how long you traveled, how far you traveled, things like that. Just below that, you have your home screen clock. If I go into here, I can change between a digital clock and an analog clock. I also have an adjustment I can make here between an ambient display, and I'll show you how to do that real quick in a second. The ambient display, I can adjust the clock, or I can just leave it a blank screen. Now the ambient display, I can also, in this here, reset the factory settings. Now the ambient display, if I go back to the home screen, if I just tap the home button again, it's going to take me over to ambiance display. This is what that is, where I have the clock just showing. Now this does still work with, like, the radio and stuff will still play along with this. This is just it only changes what you're displaying there. So we go back into the settings. That was all for the in-vehicle displays. The sound settings we took a look at earlier. So just again, where you can adjust like your bass treble and your faders, stuff like that there. You also have another addition inside of here as far as the vehicle notification and warning volume. You can change the volume level of that from here as well. Underneath that, your safety settings. So here you can turn off some of the assistance settings, the driver assistance system. This is like your radar cruise control. Mazda's radar cruise control does take you all the way down to a complete stop. You can turn that off and make it just a standard cruise control. But right now this is on for that. You can also turn on the inaudible notification letting you know that the cruise control has been set or something like that. Driver attention alert just monitors your fatigue and will what it will do is kind of suggest slowing down or taking a break from riding if it's noticing that you're driving very fatigued or something like that. Also restore all the factory settings from there for the driver assistance system as well. Underneath that, you have your safety alerts. Your alerts are things like the rear cross traffic alert system back behind you, which is if somebody's driving behind you while you're in reverse, it'll notify you if someone's moving back there, anything taller than a toddler moving. You'll have the lane departure warning system. The lane departure warning system is just an audible thing that'll notify you if it notices you drifting over top of the lane. You have some adjustments you can make there. You can make it just an audible noise. You can adjust it to vibrate the steering wheel. You can adjust it to do both in order to notify you to correct yourself back into the lane. You do have your blind spot monitoring adjustments here as well. In the blind spot monitoring, you can adjust it between a visual and audible. You can make it just visual, or if it was something that you didn't care much for, you could just turn off the system as a whole. You can also adjust right below that the timing of the alert. You can make it just whenever the car is extra close to you, if you wanted to react in a normal speed, or if you wanted to react whenever it is kind of farther back, you can make that adjustment for how quickly that will react. Again, restore all the factory settings for the safety there. You also have your active safety. The active safety is a lane keeping assist system. That is just where it will automatically try to hold you into your lane. Now it will try to hold you into your lane, but you can fight against it to go over top of the line. That is when at that point that the lane keeping assist does make that notification letting you know that you're drifting. You do have that option to restore factory settings again there. Underneath that, there's a collision avoidance system here. These do have their smart brake support system, which is just their form of their auto braking so that they can avoid their collisions. They do have some adjustments as far as their alert timing. You can make it react quicker or later, however you prefer, and restore to factory settings as well there. Pedal misuse alert is also in here. You can turn that off. It does make an audible noise whenever you are pressing down both the gas and the brake at the same time, just so you're not damaging anything on the car or wearing down anything unnecessarily. It will let you know if you're doing that. So that's all underneath the safety settings. Underneath that, I have the vehicle settings. Under the vehicle settings, I can adjust things like the door locks. I can adjust how long the locks stay unlocked whenever I leave. I can set it to automatically lock whenever I'm walking away from the vehicle with the key fob. I can set it to where if I grab the door handle, it's only going to unlock the driver door. If I want it to unlock all the doors, same thing with the key fob. If I hit the unlock button, it's going to unlock one door, or if it's going to unlock all doors. I can adjust all of that inside of there as well. I can also change the exterior lighting and the interior lighting. This is where you can adjust how long the lights stay on whenever you lock the car and you shut the doors, whenever you unlock the car, inside and out. This is currently in the exterior lighting system. These do also have an adjustment setting inside of here to adjust the headlights, the sensitivity of light. So if you are in a well-lit area, the sensitivity of the light will kind of dim it itself a little bit so it's not blinding anybody coming the opposite way there. You do also have the high beam control system located inside of here, which is where the automatic high beams come in. Where it will notice the tail lights or the headlights of a vehicle ahead of you and automatically turn off your high beams. Once that vehicle is out of the way, it will automatically turn them back on. Just one more thing for you to not worry about while you're driving. Underneath that, you do have the adaptive front lighting system. Again, not available in every model or every trim level, but it is available here in the premium. The adaptive front lighting system is just where the vehicle's lights will actually turn along with the steering wheel, just a few degrees to keep lighting up the road instead of the woods out ahead of you. Underneath that, your daytime running lights, you can turn those off there. Coming home light and leaving home light, again, that's whenever if you lock the button or unlock the car there, how long the lights will stay on or when they will shut off there. Interior lighting is the next option there. Again, that's how long you would like the lights to stay on whenever you unlock the car, how long you'd like them to stay on when you lock the car, things like that, and restoring the factory settings. Rain sensing wipers is turning on and off here. On these cars, you can just turn down the windshield wiper down one notch, and that is where the automatic will kick in. However, if you wanted to just keep it manual, you could turn it off here and just not do the rain sensing. You do also have settings in your turn signals as far as the 3-tap turn signal. So if I just tap it and don't turn it on all the way, it will just flash 3 times there, and I can turn that off, or if I wanted to leave it on, I can leave it on there. You also have the turn signal indicator volume. You can adjust how loud that will click at you, just so that you know whether or not you left the turn signal on. And again, restore factory settings. Below that, you have your rear window defogger. You do have it. You can set it to automatically shut off, so once it picks up after a certain amount of time, it will automatically turn it off, so that it's not left on throughout the time of your drive. You can change that to a continuous mode where it does always stay on until you turn it off yourself. Underneath that, you have your link seat and climate control temperatures. What that will do is, let's say I have the heat in here turned up all the way, it's going to automatically begin heating up my seat as well, to kind of counterbalance with the temperature that I have set inside of here, just so that it understands that it's cold in here, so I am trying to get warm. It will change the seats as well to get warm with me. Do have the fuel door lock delay. Now there is no button inside of here to release the fuel door, so just pressing on the fuel door itself will pop it open. You can adjust how long that stays unlocked or locked. They do lock with the vehicle, but they stay unlocked for a certain amount of time, so that if you were at the gas station and got out of your vehicle, you could close up your door, lock it, and still walk over to the gas door and pop it open, so you don't have to leave the car unlocked the whole time that you're trying to do that. Underneath that, I have my connectivity settings. We briefly kind of went through here, where you can kind of adjust what the priorities of each device is. You can also turn off the Bluetooth, pair a new device. I can also delete my device there as well, and a couple of advanced settings. And the mobile there just lists what I have connected at the moment. Vehicle Bluetooth settings, just again auto connection order, who's prioritized, restoring back to factory settings. I can change the passcode for the pairing and what the device is called as well. Smartphone connectivity settings. Under here you can see some adjustments, make some adjustments here for the Apple CarPlay and the Android Auto. Now currently I don't have any devices connected under the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto, so I cannot make any adjustments on that right now. Last thing I have listed here in the settings is system settings. Inside of here you can do things like adjust the clock, you can manually adjust the time, you can also GPS sync it if I had the GPS set up here. I do not. Again, they do not come standard in the vehicles. I can change it over to a 24-hour clock. I can also turn on and off the daylight savings times, just jumps it forward or backwards an hour, and change the time zone. Typically it does line up with what time zone you do select there. So if I select the time zone, I can change to whatever time zone I'm in right now. Right now it is set to Dublin. Underneath that, I do have your voice recognition systems. I can change the volumes of that, how much they do speak. So I can make them just shorten up some phrases so that they aren't talking for too long, not being too big of a distraction. Barge in is just where it will interrupt things like if I were to hit a voice command while I was talking, if I want that. And if I wanted the voice to stop talking while I'm trying to put in a voice command, that is me barging in, and it will do that. There's also a user guide to kind of walk you through a couple things on that as well. Again, kind of works like the owner's manual to go through that. Underneath that, you can change your language to a few options there. Right now I do have it currently set to English. You have Spanish and French as well. Change the temperature between Fahrenheit and Celsius. I can also adjust the distance and the speed from miles per hour, kilometers. Pressure, I can change which pressure I'm looking at there. Grace Note database update. This is just where I can update the Grace Note database. It is also shows me the history of when the last time it was updated and what version it is on as well. And then the album artwork to be able to show things like just the album art of the song that I was playing. Can also go through and do my software update. Now this is something that is currently, I believe, worked up only through the dealership, but I believe they are working on something now to be able to do it at home as well. But right now I believe it is only for the dealership. Then you have some system information. This is where you can see some legal notices on all the information there, the software and all that, version information, what software you're on of the car, and restore everything back to the factory settings. Now that is everything on these new Mazda Connect systems. Again, this vehicle here, I'm at Beach Mazda in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. If you do have any questions or concerns, you can feel free to reach out to us. Again, my name is Aaron. If you ever do have any concerns here in the area, I'll be more than happy to assist you. You can feel free to swing on by and take a look at our Mazdas. Thank you.